Hydrogen. Right now that you've joined, welcome everybody to the August 28th SIG Multicluster call. And today on the agenda, we're going to have one topic, duplicate API definition about API. And I've enabled screen sharing if you want to share your screen, Trujin.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
if not,
Let me share my screen. Give me 1 minute. Can you see my screen?
Yep, thanks.
Great. So this is to discuss about there are some about API and the some issues in the about API code and um, what we want to resolve it. So currently they are in the about API. The as you can see here is a structure. So there is a cluster property, and in the cluster property there is something like a sub project in the inside about API. It has its own Go mode, and API definitions is also in this cluster property. I think last year, sometime last year, we found that in addition to the API definitions, because initially the API definitions is here, the V1 Alpha 1 definitions of the about API. But we found that in addition to the API definitions, we also need a typed client. Like we need the client generator to generate the client, generate the client informer and listers. So to achieve that, we also put the put API definitions here in the package directory, and then the client is also generated here. So there is a script in the hack directory to generate this typed client based on the package based on the API definition in the package directory. I think last time that we discussed that we need to remove the original cluster property one and just use the typed one in the package definitions. But maybe there's some I don't know. Maybe there's some misconnection. Like after that, we have promote the API to beta. So the API in the cluster property now has alpha 1 and beta 1, and the CRD is generated based on that. But in the package, we only have alpha 1. We don't have the beta 1, so that there is some inconsistency between these two. And in the generated client, there won't be beta 1 API generated, beta 1 client generated. So so I think the best way to resolve it is that we just use one client, like we either use a cluster property API to generate a client, or we just remove this directory and just only use only use API definition in here to generate a client. So that's the reason I put one API. I put one PR here that in general is to remove the. So this PR is to remove the cluster property directory and only generate generate the APIs direct moved all the API definitions in the package directory and generate the client from here. And there's another PR from Holgerson. Actually, what he does is in an opposite way. Like this PR is to move the whole cluster property, move the whole directory in the cluster property to the root directory, and then remove the whole. So as you can see that the cluster property is moved to the root directory, and then the whole original package directory is removed. So we use cluster property, original cluster property APIs. But in his PR, this generated client will be removed. But I think we still need generated client in some cases. So I I chatted with him, and one of the approach is that we can, for example, merge his PR at first, and then I can I can re-edit the generation script and generate client in the root directory. So that's one possible way that we can do that. So I want to know whether there's any other whether there's some comments or opinion on this, and whether we should proceed with this approach.
Yeah, so I was just checking what the other projects in SIG do, and so MCS API still has a package directory with the APIs inside it. But anyway, yeah, so I definitely agree we need to remove one of the, well, we need to have a single definition of the APIs, and we need to keep Alpha 1 and Beta 1 since they've been published.
Yeah.
So then the question is, well, so the only complete definition is the one inside cluster properties, so that's the one we want to keep, but I don't think we want to have the subdirectory. So then the question is, do we just move everything to the root as in Niels's PR, or do we keep a package directory? And yeah, so Work API does the same. It has a package directory as well. So I think for consistency, we should do that. And yes, I also agree we need to have the generated clients.
Yeah.
Because that makes it a lot easier for other people to use. Another interesting thing to keep as well, I think, is the CRDs, the YAML files. Yeah, so I reviewed Niels's. Well, I was checking your PR just yesterday actually, but since it still had the hold on it, I didn't want to approve it just yet, and I had a comment anyway.
Yeah.
But on Niels's, I reviewed Niels's PR last year. I need to re-review it. But yeah, if you're happy with Niels's PR going in first and then reworking yours on top, that's fine as far as I'm concerned. So I'll review Niels's PR, get him to move things back into package for consistency, and then get that merged, and then you can get yours done.
Yeah. I'm fine with that. Okay.
All right, thanks. Okay, and so that's the end of the agenda topics. Does anybody else have anything to discuss, or do you want 45 minutes back? And I'll take silences, meaning that there's nothing else to discuss. So thanks everybody for attending, and see you in 2 weeks' time or on the Tuesday calls if you can make them. Have a good week, the rest of the week. Bye.